social worker who specializes in working with individuals, families, and agencies impacted by hoarding behaviors. And one of the things I like to do as kind of a passion project is to help create resources for family members, especially adult children of somebody, a parent who hoards. And so part of that is that I allow folks to submit questions, and I apologize profusely that this question actually was sent in months ago, and for various reasons, I didn't record it. And so here I am today to answer this question. So the question was, how much insight and understanding is it reasonable to expect in somebody with a hoarding disorder? Looking at the spectrum of somebody who might have a psychotic break and completely delusional to somebody who has fairly decent insight into the problem. It's a great question, and the answer is pretty complex. When we think about hoarding disorder, it might be best to think of it as a spectrum disorder, that in fact, I've often said that maybe there's 4 different presentations of hoarding behaviors, this hoarding disorder, with various different uh, primary reasons underlying the hoarding behaviors. And that based on that, then the ability for the person to have insight, again, varies across the spectrum. So, are there in fact people with hoarding behaviors who seem to have very low or delusional insight? And the answer is yes, absolutely. And for family members, this is really hard because there's some crazy making in this, right? Like, if you are an adult child and you grew up in a household with a parent who absolutely denied that there was anything abnormal, unhealthy, problematic about their relationship with their things, the condition of the home, you were probably told that you were actually the one who was not seeing things accurately. That's a really bad place to be, right? Even if it wasn't malicious, it has some level of gaslighting involved, because then your perception, which may be more contrary to popular, social norms, was called into question. And especially as a child, you really rely on adult caregivers, parents, to help you make sense of the world. And if the person you rely on to do that has told you that your perception is what's off, oof, right? That said, there are people who have fair insight, people who recognize that perhaps they have too many things, but don't see the connection between acquisition, so shopping, picking up free things, even theft, right? And the condition of the home that's problematic, that maybe is causing constant conflict. Maybe it's so far that they're losing housing, or they've fallen repetitively and had significant health issues because of the condition of their home. And so while they acknowledge that there are maybe too many things, that it's out of control, they don't see where these things connect, how they play together. And that would be that, fair insight. And then we have people who have pretty good insight. Maybe they have some ADHD. Maybe they are grieving. Maybe they've had a traumatic event, and they have, on some level, insight that what they're doing isn't healthy, it's not helping, it's really not working, and yet they feel pretty powerless to do something different. All of these the spectrum is represented with people who have hoarding disorder. Obviously, it's easier for an adult child or even a minor child to understand when their parent has good insight or even fair insight, to be able to see that and understand. It's really hard for family members. And to be fair, it's hard for clinicians, professionals, to help somebody who doesn't seem to have any connection between their behaviors, their thoughts, their beliefs, and what seems to be a significant health and safety issue. It's a really difficult place. So the question, what can we expect? It really depends. It depends on that comorbidity of what's happening besides hoarding. It's not just about stuff. Greater than 80% of people who meet criteria for hoarding disorder are expected to have at least one other mental health diagnosis. At least one. Some will have 2, 3, 4, right? So if you're experiencing a parent who seems to have zero insight, delusional about it, that in fact how they're living is completely normal, not problematic, despite the fact that they're almost dying daily or putting their health at such significant risk, I see you. I'm sorry. It's hard. If your parent or loved one has fair insight, they see there's a problem, but they haven't put the things together, it's a great place to step back. Stop taking away natural consequences. Let them experience the hardships of their thoughts, behaviors, so that they can see the connections. And if your loved one has good insight, if you can, just cheer them on when they make little steps. It's a hard disorder to move through and to get better from. And your role is to do what you want to do and not a thing more. Having a loved one with hoarding disorder is so challenging. And if all you can do is take care of you and the impact it's had on you today, that is plenty. If you've watched this and you have your own question, the information is down below how to submit your own question. I'll tell you if I missed your question recently. I'm trying to get caught up and I apologize. This is that idea of rupture and repair. It's my best intention to be consistent and I've failed. But that's okay because I'm going to make it better. So I hope that the person who asked this question sees this answer and that it's helpful. And if you're thinking about a question, ask me anything about hoarding. Do my best to respond. Thanks again.